Welcome back. Now, because of the holidays, I was not 100% sure about the schedule, so color me surprised when I saw spoilers on the internet. Uh, but I avoided them. So yeah, that turns out that when I said break next week, last video, I was wrong. Because yeah, the chapter is delayed because of the holidays, but the release of the scans aren't. And well, let's just say that I am not in a very good mood after last chapter. That was depressing and sad. If you saw it, you know what I'm talking about. I cried for a minute. Well, a week later, and I'm still sad. So let's get this chapter over with. This is chapter 1103. 1103. I'm so sorry, Daddy. Okay. Again, you know the drill. Not a market substitute. Don't watch unless you're caught up. Chapter 1103. Bonney finally knows. Bonney, you saw everything? I did. No, I've really done it. I broke my promise to Kuma. So this is a flashback, obviously. I'm sorry, Vegapunk. Aww. What's that? A gift Kuma left with me for your 10th birthday. From Dad? That's great. A sapphire necklace. How pretty. It looks like the sun. I'll treasure it forever. He said it's a protective charm. Honestly, though, it's hard to believe what that kid has become after only 2 years. Straw Hat. So he's the son of Dad's old buddy, right? Indeed, I was stunned when you both showed up together. Fate is a strange thing. Now, the fact that this is a flashback and the fact of the subject that they're discussing in their conversation is very, very interesting now. Because I want Nika to be brought up. A lot has happened on Egghead while you've been in that room. The Straw Hat crew saved me just now, in fact. I'll explain everything. We can meet up with them when things have calmed down. I'm sorry for everything, Bonney. Now you know how worthless I am. A mere scientist for hire, following his orders. You're wrong. The real villain is him. Okay, we're back in the present. I was not ready for this. We've been 8 chapters into that Kuma backstory, and I am not prepared. The present, Egghead, New World, Jewelry Bonney the pirate, your father Kuma is truly dead. Damn it, why can't I move? Bonney! Food, someone give me food! Meat! I would if I could, but my body... Vegapunk's bodyguard is in custody. I repeat, we've got Sentomaru. Sentomaru-kun, Bonney. Even Kizaru, who can't move because of Luffy, is feeling a type of way, and that is a very, very popular topic. I don't know what to think of him, though. I really want him to turn, or at least do something, you know? Any words on the status of things up there? We can't confirm the situation since Commodores and below aren't allowed to approach. A siege involving an emperor. It'll be a miracle if there's no casualties. The scale is bigger than the O'Hara incident. Please be safe, Dr. Vegapunk. Assuming there's still a trace of Kuma in there, where would his instincts take him, Eva? If it was me, I would storm Merijoa for some payback. But as we know, Kuma is different. That's right. Well, yeah, Sentomaru's tied up. Kizaru is thinking. Who's going to interfere? If I'm gonna get killed here anyway, then distorted future. Okay, she's going into Gear 4. Or at least that's what it looks like. Nika-ish? Nika? Future. What the? I suddenly feel weak again. Why? Huh. His powers are weird, Saturn. So, you two know that name. You really are his daughter. That being said, you don't fully understand its meaning. It seems she hasn't drawn the connection between Nika and Straw Hat's new white form. What? Oh, she only saw Kuma's memories, and Kuma may have been watching over Luffy, but just because she saw his memories doesn't mean she read his thoughts. She only saw what he saw, I'm assuming. Because that's a difficult topic. Like, did she only see what he literally saw? and not what he was thinking at the time. Because Gear 5 happened after Kuma lost his personality. So that's an area that Bonney would not have seen other than in the newspaper. And she mentioned it, but she didn't make the connection. So she knows of the two things, but she does not know they're the same thing. How pathetic. Oh, he's already eating. Where did that food come from? Who's responsible for this? Put him in sea stone cuffs immediately. Huh? Get him. Another mystery. This is a very, very, like, whodunit kind of arc, because there's always a twist. Get him. What's with this geezer? I can't even change his age. Bonney, you owe that power of yours to me. Huh? We conducted experiments to determine whether extract infusions could grant a baby an ability without feeding them the fruit normally. It was a success, but the fruit itself is useless now. What? What? You owe that power of yours to me. We conducted experiments to determine whether extract infusions could grant a baby an ability without feeding them the fruit normally. Before she came back from Mauricio as a baby! Oh, so her fruit manifested late, but she had it her whole life? We conducted experiments to determine whether extract infusions could grant a baby an ability without feeding them the fruit normally. So she came back from Mauricio after that, with her mother, Ginny, who died on arrival. It was a success, but the fruit itself is useless now. Its ability can transform you into a state that matches any future perceived to be possible. But that means the possibilities become limited as your future becomes more certain, as you uncover the truth. So the possibilities become limited as your future becomes more certain. Like, the more certain your future is, the less options you have. Let's put it like that. Nika is just an impossible myth you wanted to believe in. Here he comes. Nika's real. I've been looking for him to save Dad ever since you turned him into your cyborg slave. Your sudden weakening proves you are starting to doubt whether his existence is possible. Your father just passed on a worthless buccaneer legend. He once told me he wanted to save people just like Nika. I'm still on about Bonnie's origin. Like, so the fruit is real, but she didn't eat it. Because they would have known. They were like, where did you get a devil fruit? And she didn't remember eating a devil fruit. She was born with the extracts of the devil fruit. Extract infusions could grant a baby an ability without feeding them the fruit normally. Now, this reminds me of how you can make a Zoan be inside an object without feeding the object, because the objects can't eat. But this is not a Zoan fruit as far as I'm aware. So I'm confused. But it's starting to make more sense. Your mother being brought to the Holy Land to be wife number 8 is ironic, really. Wife number 8. It's ironic, really. She ended up being part of my drug experiments. So he's into drug experiments because he's a science god. Like the other failures, she developed Sapphire Scale. I knew the results were poor. But to think the condition passed on to her child as well. What? When he says wife number 8, I hope he's not talking about his wife number 8, because I was against that theory. I thought it would be too obvious. Because now I'm uncomfortable. Something landed over there. Everything, it was all you. Experiments, how dare you, Saturn? Those sapphire scales tore Kuma's family apart. They're the reason he threw his life away. You used it as a bargaining chip when you were the one responsible? Look at it from my perspective. Do you comprehend the feelings of the insects you step on? Of course not. I don't want Saturn to be Bonnie's father. I just wanted him to be some no-name celestial dragon and leave it at that, because that felt like... That's what I would have done if I was the author. But apparently, and we already know this because we saw the inside of his studio once, Oda is a fan of Star Wars. No, Bonney. I am your father. Well, I'm not going to pretend I'm not a little disappointed, but I'm going to respect it because it is making me feel some kind of way. And that, if that was the intention, and let's be honest, it was the intention, he did his job. Is it a pacifista? No, look at his palms. He has paws. He's here. This is an urgent report from the southwest coast. The ex-warlord of the sea, Bartholomew Kuma, has made landfall. He's heading straight for the center of the island. Our authority chip commands aren't working. We can't stop him. What a fiasco. Could Kuma possibly be here? I can't hold on. I'm so scared. He's here now? Stop him. Fire at will. Yes, sir. It's the Terminator. I can't force myself to speak anymore. Daddy, it feels like my heart is shattering. Dang, what a scene. Open fire. Don't stop till you're out of ammo. At this point, I think I'd be better off dead. This is it. I'm so sorry, Daddy. All that shrieking is unbearably noisy. You insufferable waif. Blow her head off. Boom. I'm so sorry, Daddy. You fought really hard for me to live, but... Aw, he couldn't have done it another way. He got right in the... Aw, that's sad. That is sad. He got right under his foot. Daddy. It's Bartholomew Kuma. That's hockey. Yep, people were talking about it. That is... hockey. Chapter 1103 end. Bonney's back to her original form. And Saturn is not expecting that punch. That is Armament Hockey, A Father's Fury, chapter end. Okay, that was feeling a little short. I might as well fill out a little bit of time with some discussion. So, where was I? Okay, so Shonen Jump New Year. Happy New Year from Oda. New color spread. Okay, so Bonney apologizes to Vegapunk. The title of the chapter shows that she's also apologizing to Kuma. He leaves her a protective charm shaped like the sun, a sapphire necklace specifically. Now, the fact that it's a sapphire, in my opinion, is a little uncouth. It's just distasteful. I mean, it could be kind of a memory thing, like, let's not forget what we went through, but why would you want a sapphire necklace after that disease nearly killed her? And it did kill Ginny. That is kind of distasteful in my opinion. It'd be kind of awkward in my opinion. But I know Oda, that is going to be significant later. It's obviously set up. Let's not joke about that. It's not weird if we know that. And I knew that the second I saw it, I knew he was setting up for something. I just didn't mention it because it wasn't really that important at the time. But, I don't think it's Sea Stone because she was holding it. Now, that reminds me of the infusion experiments, the drug experiments. Okay, so the Sapphire Scale is a result of drug experiments. That is separate from the Devil Fruit experiments performed on the baby. The reason they did it on a baby is obvious because... because she's young, she'll grow into it. That makes more sense than testing a devil fruit on an adult. And he mentioned it was a success, but the fruit itself is useless now. Now, this could be a translation thing, because I know from experience that translations don't always remain the same between the scans and the official release. Now, I'm really curious what he meant by the fruit itself is useless now. Because we know for a fact that if you bite into a devil fruit, the rest of the fruit, which is in your hand, if you don't eat the rest of it, is useless. Is he referring to that phenomenon? Or is he saying, oh, while you're in my hand, I can stop your powers? Which is reminiscent of Sea Stone and the Blackbeard's fruit. The dark fruit. And this doesn't feel like that identically. It just feels similar. And I'm confused why she can't use her powers. Now, I know he says that, oh, you're losing hope. The more your future becomes set in stone, the less options you have. So, as fear is setting in, and he is fear-inducing, as fear is setting in, it's affecting her powers psychologically. I think that is what the translator was failing to convey earlier, but then they got it down later. Then Luffy got food. That is a mystery. Who gave him that food? Well, it can't be Sentomaru. And it can't be Kizaru. And it can't be Sanji. And it can't be Frankie. And it can't be Atlas. And it can't be Bonney. And it can't be Vegapunk. Stella. Dragon's not coming. Eva's not coming. Who gave Luffy the food? Now, the food itself resembles that was made by the food machines earlier, so that's not a stretch to assume. But the food machine is probably not nearby, so someone had to give it to him. Now, it's Caribou! People were talking about it, and I forgot, which I'm glad I did, because that's not a great spoiler to be spoiled on. I am so glad I forgot people were talking about that. That's like the only two things I knew. Kuma punching Saturn, and the food. Wow, I am so glad I didn't know anything else, because Caribou is easy to... like, he can hide it in his body, and he can hide under the rocks because he can turn into mud. Oh my god, you legend Caribou. You MVP. So yeah, after Onigashima, after Wano, he was the MVP. Now he's still here, and he fed Luffy again. I'm so happy about that. Okay, so he says, wife number 8 is... okay, so, yeah. So I think this virtually confirms, unless it's a translation thing, that Saturn is Bonnie's father. And I am disturbed. Because everyone predicted that. Oh, it's so obvious. And I'm like, no, it's too obvious. I didn't want this to be true. It was gross. And I really just wanted it to be for poetic reasons. I just wanted it to not be him. Like, I didn't want to deal with this. I wanted some random no-name guy, you know, Shanks's cousins, whatever, to just be the father, because we know that all celestial dragons have slaves and concubines. But no, it had to be worse than that. He didn't just impregnate her. And part of me is wondering if it was a scientific insemination, or if it was, you know, classic. I do not really want to know, because he performed drug experiments on the mother and devil fruit experiments on the child. And that was only in 2 years of being gone. He is a literal monster, and I didn't know Oda would go this far. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We've seen stuff like this since Dressrosa, Fishman Island, Sabaody, but this is a step further. Okay, yeah, and the chapter ends with Kuma taking the blow, saving Bonney, and going for the blow. Yeah, let's go. That's the end of the chapter. Thank you guys for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing with a friend, and check out the posts on my channel on the what's it called? The community tab. I've got polls, I've got quizzes, yeah, and now I have got to go publish this reaction. Wow, it was... it's like I'm shaking, but I'm not, but I am at the same time. Okay, that was emotional. Now I just need to, like, eat something and get this out of my mind, because I have never felt like this about One Piece until this arc. Well, no, I mean, it's different in manga form than in anime form. Like, it's been 8 years since I started One Piece, and actually no, every backstory has made me feel a kind of emotional way, but this is the first time where, instead of just crying like I did last chapter, I'm also sick to my stomach. This is some Attack on Titan level stuff, Oda. Proud of you, Oda, because this is making me feel disturbed. Yeah, that's enough for now. Thanks again.